Welcome to church this week. So glad you're here. If you haven't checked out our sister site, followme.org, I want to invite you to do that this week. Followme.org is a discipleship platform, if you will. There are 120 questions on there that help you understand your relationship with God a little bit better. They help you understand the biggest barriers in your relationship to God. So at the end of the process, you see your own unique spiritual profile, and then you begin to receive some content for you that is designed to help you uniquely grow in your relationship with God. So check that out. It's followme.org. It's a new venture for us. We started it in July. It's completely free. And I have to confess to you, followme.org was named not just because of the words of Jesus. Follow me. Jesus says that a number of different times in the Gospels. It wasn't just named that because of the words of Jesus, even though that was our primary motivation. Our secondary motivation for acquiring the domain name followme.org was because Twitter has made the phrase follow me famous in our society around the world. I don't know if you're on Twitter. Probably at least a 50% likelihood that you are, but even if you're not, you probably get the idea. People post on this kind of micro-blogging site these short messages, and you sign up to follow people, follow what they're saying, or other people sign up to follow what you're saying. So it's kind of interesting, though, because with followme.org, people often, if they don't really understand the biblical context of what that means, and they come to our website, we kind of see this every day. People are coming to our website assuming that there's somebody on the other end, some person like me, looking for someone to follow them. And as interesting as that would be, you probably would quickly grow tired of my tweets and my boring and random ramblings, and it wouldn't work out very well. But that's our society right now. We're all following people in kind of an arm's length kind of fashion, and whether for good or for bad, it's kind of where we are right now in our culture. But in this case, when we look in light of today's gospel lesson, we have to understand that following Jesus is more active and less passive. So a lot of the times now in our relationships, it's more of a passive kind of thing. We're just kind of grazing through what's going on. We're looking at it at a distance. We're participating and commenting at a distance. But in this case, to be a follower of Jesus is more active and less passive. Have you ever heard of a phrase called slacktivism? By any chance? I don't know if you've heard that, but I kind of like the word slacktivism. And it's kind of come up in our culture quite a bit. A few years ago, Facebook had something called Facebook Causes on it. I don't know if you saw that or not, but Facebook Causes was just simply an idea where you could go on and you could say, yeah, I support that. I support stopping cutting down trees in the rainforest, or I support spotted owls, or whatever it is, and you would support some sort of cause through Facebook Causes, and you just kind of, pin that up on your profile. It didn't require anything of you. It didn't require that you gave any money. It didn't require that you volunteered a single minute of your time, or that you did anything other than you just clicked on something and stuck it on your Facebook profile. And it resulted in raising awareness a little bit of something, but it didn't really require anything of us. And so many of the things that we support are like that. They don't really require a whole lot of effort on our part. Well, I have news for you. Following Jesus isn't one of those things. Following Jesus and really doing it, not just kind of occupying space in your little corner of Christendom, but actually doing it, being the real deal in this life, well, it requires a little bit of effort from you. Scripture says, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. Whoever wants to be my disciple, my follower, has to take up their cross and follow me. Well, if you don't mind, let's unpack that just a little bit if we could. First part of it is following Jesus means taking up your cross. Well, what is a cross to begin with? What is Jesus talking about here? He says, make note, he says your cross and follow me. He doesn't say my cross. So he's not talking about the cross of Jesus here. He's not asking you to literally die on something as he did. He's asking you to die to yourself a little bit, but he's not asking you to die on a cross. So we're not talking about that kind of cross. What we're talking about is to take up your burden and follow Jesus. So So what does that mean? What are the kinds of crosses that God is asking us to pick up and carry with us? So in other words, it's following Jesus in spite of what weighs you down. Think of it like that. Following Jesus in spite of what weighs you down. So what are some of the crosses he's asking us to pick up? Well, the Apostle Paul, later on in the epistles, he talks about the thorn in his flesh. And I think we all have one of those. We all have some sin that dogs us or something like that we kind of, even though we are buying into Christianity, we're trying to do our best, and all that, we have that thing that keeps kind of sticking at us that we really, really have a hard time shaking. That could be your cross. That even though you're dealing with whatever that is, Jesus says, take up your cross and follow me. It could be some sort of hurdle or impediment you have. And we see this throughout the Bible. Moses said, God, I can't do this. I can't do what you're asking me to do because I can't speak very well. So, matter solved. I can't do it. And God says, yes, you can. I'm gonna have Aaron speak for you. Or David, King David, one of the most famous characters in the Old Testament. Somebody who was a forefather to Jesus. Jesus comes out of the house of David. David messes up royally. He becomes a murderer and an adulterer, all kind of at once, and that kind of stuff. And even though he was dealing with all that sin and that shame and that guilt and all that kind of stuff, God doesn't let him off the hook. God says, keep going, take up your cross and follow me. So we can't actually get stuck in the mud. And the cross is also about denying ourselves. So you take up your cross, you follow Jesus, and you deny yourself in the process. You deny yourself some fear. You're going to deny yourself the ability to kind of wallow in guilt and shame. You're going to deny yourself the ability to be lazy, to just kind of stay put and do your thing. You're denying yourself all that, but know this, it's active and not passive, this whole idea of following Jesus. So take a look at your life this week. Are you a follower of Jesus or are you not? That's a tough question. I didn't ask you if you're a believer in Jesus or not. I asked you if you're a follower of Jesus. But Jesus asks you, and he asked me each and every day, to take up our cross and follow him. The journey is worth it, friends. Take up your cross and follow Jesus. We'll unpack it a little bit further in part 2.